In this video, I want to show how to get a linear equation from being given two data points. So we've got the 0.23 and the 0.410, and we're going to use Excel to help us find our linear equation. So if we put in the two data points in rows and put both of my x values listed here for the row, I've got an x value of 2 and an x value of 4. And then we'll put the y values in a row. That's the first x value is 3, so that I can see I've got the 0.23, and the other y value is 10. So I've got 2, 3, and 4, 10 because of these 2 points. And we'll highlight those 2 points, insert a scatter plot, the one we know how to find, we've done before in Excel Lab 1. And I'll check to see, it's very important that I check to see what the two data points are that Excel graphed for me. So I kind of hover over this point and I see that it says it's the 0.23. And this is the 0.410. So it's exactly what the 2 points are that I was asked to find. So I will right click, which brings up the option to add a trend line. And we said we wanted a linear equation, so I'm going to leave that as the default, and we'll leave that checked. And come down here and check the bottom 2 boxes so that I'll be able to see the equation and the r squared. And I'll close that box. And it gave me the equation, y equals 3.5x minus 4. And this example is on the PowerPoint for section 9B, and that is the equation we were expecting for these two data points. But what if we were to put the 2 points in rows? I'm going to move this graph over and put in x and y in columns. So what if we were to put the first x and the first y next to each other so they look like the data point 2, 3, and I put in the 4 and the 10. So again, it looks like this data point, 410. So I can see that they look exactly like the 2 points that I have at the top. Again, we'll highlight, get the graph. But there's something different that happened. Because it was just 2 data points, 2 x's and 2 y's, Excel is not really sure which way to graph it. So it chooses to always think of it in rows or columns, rows, unless I tell it differently. So I'm going to check this point. I'm going to hover over it and see that it graphed the point 2, 4, but that's not what I wanted. And I checked this point and it said 310. That's not what these are. So I want to switch the rows and the columns, tell Excel to switch the row and column, and I'll go up to the toolbar and just click the button for that switch row and column. Notice what it did. Now it says 2, 3 and 4, 10. If I had left it the way it did the first time and tried to get a trend line, again linear, notice that it would give me a different trend line, which was wrong because it thought that I had the point 2, 4 and 3, 10. So by switching the row and column, it will give me the correct trend line. So you want to make sure when you type in your data points that if you choose to put it in rows, it'll give it to you right the first time. If you choose to put it in columns, then it would need to be switched. The row and column have to be switched before you can get your trend line. So whichever way you choose to do it, you should always check to see that the graph is correct before you choose the trend line that you want.